So AI, right? AI. Everybody talks about AI. But see, when we go to conferences and many places, everybody says that our product is
Okay,
built.
like with regards to all of these other languages, right, the customers are really happy because the sentiment is almost too accurate. Okay, because how we do that, right, first is we set up the topic.
Coming back to this topic that they just use AI as a blanket term rather than kind of breaking it down into pieces.
Specifically, when it comes to AI, what can happen is when there are so many conversations that are flowing into the system, there's a huge chunk.
Hello and welcome to the podcast of CX with Konnect. We have today Adina D'Souza and Nandini with us. In the previous podcasts, we covered the topics of omnichannel customer experience and four pillars of omnichannel. We spoke about how you can achieve omnichannel by unifying your customer experience platform with CRMs and with marketing automation and with contact center. Today, we are going to cover the most important topic of AI and AI specifically in the field of customer experience. So I have with me today Adina and Nandini, of course, who work very closely with the customers to implement Gen AI or overall AI that we have built on top of Connect Insights. So let's dive deep into this topic. But before that, why don't you go ahead and just introduce yourself?
So, hey everybody, I'm Adina D'Souza from the customer success team, and my major responsibility would be onboarding clients and seeing to that all of our customers are satisfied and makes the best use of Connect. Yeah.
Right. Hi everybody. I'm Nandini Amritkar from the customer success team as well, and I also take care of the onboarding of clients across the regions. All the international clients, along with the domestic clients, onboarding is something that I also look into.
Great, great. So AI, right? AI. Everybody talks about AI. But see, when we go to conferences and many places, everybody says that our product is built on top of AI. We kind of feel wow, but at the end of the day, when we walk out, we don't really get it, what it was at the end of the day, right? We have to break that AI into pieces and understand how brands can really benefit, because someone just using an AI for automated responses thinks that, oh wow, what we have done. That's the thing, that the way we look at AI, right? And we have built this platform on top of AI, but there are a lot of use cases. So let's understand those use cases today, and our audience will also be benefited out of it. So why don't you go ahead and tell me some use cases of AI in particular, and Gen AI, and how it has benefited some of the brands that you work with. You want to take it first? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right. So in terms of use cases, right now, let's say there is a particular customer who has a requirement of online reputation. Right, a lot of customers who have this need, they want to leverage the online reputation. So how brands really look into this is by taking care of the queries, concerns. The agents really work on the cases manually, respond to the cases manually, or have certain draft templates or canned responses set in the system in order to respond to these. Right now, this becomes very tedious for the agent to really work upon these cases, select the canned responses, and respond to the customers' queries that are coming in on a day-to-day basis. Now, how Gen AI can really help in this aspect is that we can have an automation to be set where when a particular customer or repetitive customers queries that are coming in, you can just have it automated with the help of the rule book or the automations that we can set under the Connect Insights. That's how particularly customers can be satisfied and the timely responses can be gone out with the help of the automation.
So this is specific to community engagement where you can have, earlier it was more of canned responses. Like for example, if we look at an insurance brand and they get a lot of queries around KYC, right? And earlier what would agents do is go to canned responses, select the ones, and then just send out the responses. But that particular thing is automated, as what you're saying, right? Where let's say KYC related queries come and auto responses are sent. This is like a very basic stuff of Gen AI, right? Adina, do you want to add something on top of that?
Yeah, probably also this, as she mentioned, that an automated response can be sent. But now let's say, for example, there are critical cases, okay, and of course, on those critical cases, there manual intervention or manual response needs to be sent, okay. But now let's say if the agents want to get an assistance with the help of AI, okay, can that be done? Of course, we can do that. So with the help of Gen AI, the agents, like if there's any query that comes in from a particular customer, with the help of Gen AI, instead of going to, the draft message templates and it's going to save a lot of time. So just going to draft message templates, searching for the templates, and all, it's going to take, let's say, 2 minutes. But with the help of Gen AI, just click on that particular feature that we have. Within seconds, an automated draft template would be, yeah.
And that's like assisting the agents.
Right, correct.
And we did this calculation, right? That if let's say as an agent, if I'm going through the canned responses, selecting something, and then eventually getting my response for the customer, I might spend, let's say, 2 minutes to it. 2.5 is what we can actually calculated. If Gen AI can save that much time, maybe if it does in half a minute, I just check it. It is saving 2 minutes of me in a day for one query. If I solve 50 queries in a day, then how much? 100?
More than, yeah, 100 minutes, right.
And if we have, 10 agents?
Then 100.
1,000.
Yeah, 1,000 minutes.
So we're kind of saving 1,000 minutes for 10 agents in a day with the implementation of Gen AI. So it definitely increases the productivity. Yeah, and again, coming back to this topic that they just use AI as a blanket term rather than kind of breaking it down into pieces. We specifically work on social media, right? As a customer experience, unified customer experience. Of course, we have contacts and integrations and all. But talking purely about social media AI, do you think it's very different from what probably a CRM company would do with AI or what social media would do? Because it's a very dynamic world. We have queries coming from, so many sources. You need one view of the customer, and after having one view of the customer across channels, you want that response to be generated, which is very tailor made for the user, and it looks like an agent or a human has responded, right? Just talking about that, how do you think social media uses are different from what you say in CRM or otherwise any other products when it comes to AI?
Specifically, when it comes to AI, what can happen is when there are so many conversations that are flowing into the system, there's a huge chunk or millions of conversations that flow into the system. Now, when it comes to responding to these cases, right, now there could be a customer who's reaching out to you on Twitter and then probably on Facebook and then on Instagram. Now, when all these conversations are getting captured in the system, how will a particular agent or how will the brand understand that this customer is the same customer who's coming across all the various channels? That's how the Gen AI really helps, where it analyzes the customer based on certain contact details, certain information that is shared by the customer. Based on that, we can identify that yes, this is like the same customer who has come across various sources, and you can get a background of the customer basis this, and accordingly can you actually tailor make your responses and give a
AI summary.
AI summary. Yes, we have a thing called as AI summary under the platform under Konnect Insights, which definitely helps you to analyze that this customer has come across the same various channels with the same kind of query or concern.
Persona basically.
Yes.
Let's say I am someone who has been talking to the brand for last 3 years. As an agent or a supervisor, I'm not going to go through all the conversations. But if you tell me that this person talks about, let's say banking example, he talks about credit card, he has spoken previously about loan, his CSAT overall has been like 4.5. That's the highlight that I need to know before I respond to that customer, right? That's the thing that AI really does.
Yeah, another thing is not only with responding to customers, right? When you spoke about social media, we also have the publish module where you can publish content onto different social media platforms, right? So how brands are using this is when they are posting a content on social media. Of course, there's like a particular caption or something that they have to post, right? So there we have a feature that is Gen AI where they can rephrase a particular caption or get like a suggestion as well. Okay, so when posting it across social media platforms, they know something like this is what we can come up with, and this is something that we can also post.
Talk about some more automation. Like I know certain brands who get about 1,000 odd feedback on some Google Play or iOS app reviews, and they have completely automated. Just talk about that.
Yeah, so let's take an example of a QSR brand, okay? Yeah, so then they receive a lot of reviews, let's say 5-star ratings and probably 5-star ratings with reviews, okay, across different of their outlets, of their locations, right? Now, for as an agent, okay, to reply to all of this is going to be a very tedious task, right? So what we can do is,
And cost also for the brand.
of course,
Correct,
cost, and like it's also going to waste a lot of time, because to reply to each and everything, and of course we are humans, replying to each and everything we might also miss on to replying to certain customers, and of course the brand doesn't really want to miss on to customers, replying to customers. So in that case, what we can do is we can create automations where for 4 and 5-star ratings or along with reviews, based on the keywords or based on the followers count that we get or based on certain categories, let's say classifications, we can create automations, and then the auto response can be sent across to the customers, right? So of course over here the agents can actually look on to cases that come on to, let's say if customers are giving you a 1 or 2-star rating, they can focus on those critical cases rather than focusing on everything else. So it's basically just work smarter, not.
And how? What about the accuracy?
Accuracy, I mean, it's almost like 99.5% accurate. Right.
Really?
Yeah, it is.
yeah.
That's good. Same thing can be extended to your Google business reviews, right? Google Map reviews, a lot of locations, and
Right.
brands these days for certain platforms really rely on automation or AI completely, right? Great. Some use case of retail brand, if you can tell.
Yes, absolutely. So now there are a lot of our existing customers, in fact, who reach out on email. There are a lot of customers who are using the
No, I spoke about retail brands. Retail brands. Yeah, on the Google business reviews.
Okay, on Google Business. All right. So let's say there are a lot of customers who have the Google Business locations. They have various locations across, right? In different countries, in different regions, states, right?
Yeah.
Now, when a particular customer is reaching out and putting out a review on any of the GMB location, we can also have a particular location-wise automation can also be set. So that is very crucial also for a lot of brands, where you can customize the responses. Now there could be an instance where while a lot of customers are putting out reviews on the GMB locations, it could look like it is an automated or auto chat bot or something like that, right? The same response is going multiple times, but that is not the case with Konnect Insights, because we can have various draft templates to be set, and
It does not randomizing.
Yes,
And also put AI on top of it.
correct, right, yes.
Yeah. One interesting thing, back then when social media started, and of course, I'm in this industry for last 8 to 10 years, and of course, AI was not that great earlier because the tools weren't available. Now it's so easy to implement AI really in the sense of how you can have the use cases been built on the product. One of the use cases that I remember was there was some airlines, and there was a person who kind of sent a query at 2 a.m. in the night saying that my flight is delayed, and he got an automated response saying that we work only between 10 to 7, and the whole world was after them, because if your service is at 24 hours, then your customer services also should be for 24 hours. So those responses for an airline brand was not a good sign. These days, of course, they have agents working in those times. But how is the AI useful for brands where the volumes of query are less and maybe their working hours are not in that duration? Do you think there's a use case of AI over there?
yeah, definitely. Now, AI not only analyzes in terms of ratings, 4-star rating, 5-star rating, but it can also definitely help you analyze in terms of the keywords that they're using. If a particular customer, the sentences that the customer, the phrases that the customer is using, and with the help of Gen AI, you can also analyze the sentiment of the conversation as to is it quoting in a negative sentiment or a positive sentiment? What is the connotation that the customer is really putting out on the internet, on the social media channels, right? That's how Gen AI comes into the play, where you can understand based on the sentiment, a particular auto response can be sent across. So in this case, when a particular customer really was not very satisfied with the airline, or probably they missed their flight, right? Now, in terms of what the keywords or the usage of the phrase is being by the customer, a particular auto response can be sent across.
But brands will decide whether to send an auto response or not in such cases. Because in certain cases where they might alert the agent saying that it's a critical, and the workflows can be created.
Correct, right.
That's right.
Uh, Again, you spoke about sentiment analysis. So, have you seen the accuracy of sentiment getting better because of Gen AI?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, initially, of course, our system has been strong throughout. Initially, also, we did have the sentiment logic that we have built, right? The AI logic, NLP logic that we have built, which has been really strong. But that was confined to English language, right? We could understand the sentiment based on the phrases in the English language. But now when the Gen AI has really come up, we have seen the huge difference. That is, initially it was only English, but now since we have also our customers in the Middle East regions and regions across the country, across the world, I'm sorry, we do have the Gen AI built for all these various languages as well. For example, Arabic or Portuguese for that matter. The sentiment does work really strong and a response can be sent across.
And then you work with customers in APAC as well as LATAM, right? So, have they complained about the sentiment, or what is the overall feedback? Because we always knew we were very good in English and some languages in India. We covered about 11 written languages in India, English, and a few languages here and there. But in the last 2 years, the sentiment analysis has been highly accurate. I know a lot of customers in Middle East, and over there they have different dialects also. Like the Arabic that you speak in Saudi is very different than what you speak in Egypt. I don't know, but that's what I've heard. But they are also very happy with sentiment. But what about Spanish, Portuguese, and some languages like Bahasa and all?
Right, right. So even that, okay, like with regards to all of these other languages, right, the customers are really happy because the sentiment is almost too accurate, okay? Because how we do that, right, first is we set up the topic, okay, then we do a quick search based on it. So we understand like what are the relevant conversations, what are they actually looking for, and based on that is what the sentiment automatically it gets tagged, okay? Then we show it to the customer, and the customer's like, okay, yeah, like right. Also in that case, they can also customize the way they want the sentiments to be tagged into. So we have like a feature called as customization sentiment, yeah. So over there, like based on the certain keywords, so like for the brand, if they are positive keywords, we can add the positive and then the negative, and then yeah, like
Uh, yeah. Uh, Sentiment is fine, but there is also something called as classification analysis, and which is very different in social media tools versus all other platforms. We have classification, sub-classification, then we have custom fields. Even AI has helped in that case, right? Can you tell more about that? Yeah.
All right. So, in terms of classifications, also classifications is nothing but the dispositions or the tags you can call it for each and every industry, right? Now, when classifications are already set in the system, what Gen AI can help here is that based on the query that the customer is putting out. Let's take an example of the airline back again, right? When a particular customer is reaching out and probably mentioning that they have lost their bag or they've lost a particular item at the luggage that they've lost, right? So how, with the help of this keyword luggage, right? Gen AI can analyze that, okay, this particularly belongs to lost and found. So they can, the particular system will automatically tag it under lost and found. And by the end of the quarter or by the end of the year, they can analyze, okay, out of the total 1 million cases that had come in, how many were really related to lost and found. And that way they can optimize their service even more.
Yeah, yeah, perfect. Okay, do you think there are cases where AI or automation should not be used? Because of course, we have this great tool, but we should know where to use it and where not to use it, right? Understanding where to use and where not to use is very important, because otherwise you'll start using AI where you actually need human intervention. For example, I always used to say that let's say if one of my esteemed customers write to me a one-to-one email, I'll never use an automation to reply to him, because it's very important, right? Or you wouldn't send an automated reply to your boss, right? Although it is a one-to-one conversation. Then how can you use automation when it's public conversation, right? So, but we spoke about the use cases of AI in various scenarios. Tell me where not to use it.
Right. So probably now, let's say for example, in a banking industry, if there is a particular customer who comes up and says that, hey, I've lost my debit card and I really want to, like, I have come across to, like, tried reaching out to the customer support team and all, but then there's no response and everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Over here, an automated response cannot be gone. Yeah. Like, hey, thank you so much for reaching out. We are so glad to hear this.
Yes.
No, of course. So here we can avoid sending out an AI response. Okay. Another place where we can avoid sending an AI response would be an influencer. So let's say if there's an influencer who's come up to your brand and they're tagging you saying that amazing services and very nice and all. Of course, sending an AI response is absolutely not
So
something.
you can really configure saying that this scenario is not more than this followers.
Yes, yes, you
Correct,
can
yeah.
bifurcate here.
Sentiment not critical, and then only use the Gen AI. Right. I remember this thing. It happened with Sachin Tendulkar once, and he wrote to some airline saying that I have problem with my baggage, and they sent an automated response to him.
Oh, no.
And Sachin didn't have fans; he has devotees. So
Right.
everybody. So this also happened with our prime minister. He wrote once congratulating one of our regulator. I'll not take the name. They also send an automated response. So at least you can set those kind of setup where
Correct, yeah.
if this condition, then use the AI, otherwise not, and let the AI decide within that framework what needs to be sent out.
Based
Right.
on severity also can you create an automation, right? So we
Right.
can have severities in terms of low, medium, high priority cases. So we can set an automation on the low priority and the medium priority cases and avoid to send an automated response to the high priority cases.
AI can be used for workflows here, right? I mean, if this kind of queries come, the automated setup should give those right kind of queries to right people. That's what something that AI can do.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
It's not always to look at AI from auto responses or doing the work that humans do. It should rather aid the humans so that we save time. We spoke about saving those 1,000 minutes in a day, right? I think that's the real use case of AI. Again, coming back to the story of omnichannel, we use Konnect with a lot of other platforms like CRMs and marketing automations and contact centers. So how does an AI play the role in terms of omnichannel, because we kind of integrate with so many platforms? Yeah.
So, as we already know that Konnect Insights is an omnichannel customer experience management platform, and we have the 4 pillars of customer experience. Primarily, we receive data from across social channels, right? We can capture data from here, and moreover, we can also capture or we can have the data to be received upon from the offline touch points as well. Certainly, like QR codes that are placed across in the stores, right? Moreover, we can also capture data or we can have a unified customer experience and unified view of the customer, in fact, with the help of these CRM platforms as well. We can moreover integrate Konnect Insights with these CRM platforms, right? Now, when we have all these data points to be captured under one system, there are 2 ways to go about it. Either you can have everything under Konnect Insights, or you can have all this data to be visible under another CRM platform. Right, that's how it really works. So if you have all the data in the Konnect Insights platform, we already know how to go about it. Now, when it comes to having all this data, we can also have this to be sent across to the CRM platform.
Today's brands really decide what they want to do, right? We don't go ahead and we cannot do this. We cannot go ahead and ask them that this is my platform, this is my system, and you have to adopt it, because there's a large systems that are already in place. So somebody has a CRM like Salesforce already implemented. Someone might have a contact center already implemented. Whereas someone would say, no, fine, I have a CTI integration, I want that in Konnect Insights. And we have done that. We have a brand where everything is in Konnect Insights, that airport brand and so many brands of automobiles and all. Then there is a brand that has everything within Salesforce, and there is a brand that has everything within a contact center, and they want one view of the customer. But my question is how really AI plays a role, because no matter where I come from as a customer, I still want that unified experience. So how do we aid agents when it comes to that unified experience? Yeah.
So a very interesting question, Samir. Yes. So when it comes to an omni-channel customer experience management platform, right? Over here we have trained the Gen AI accordingly. But now let's say if you want to integrate with different social other CRMs, okay, their Gen AI has been trained accordingly, okay, right, with regards to each and everything. So now to get everything together cumulatively is like it's going to be like a difficult job. But that's when Gen AI comes under picture and does everything.
Yeah, that's true. So because the problem statement really is like at the end of the day, I don't know as a brand what systems do you use. You know, when we think of Domino's, we think of Domino's as a pizza brand. That's about it, right? They might be using hundreds of systems. I think what really today's omnichannel world and Gen AI has done it has given me that experience that I am one customer from for them and I'm important for them. Okay, and they make me feel important because of the whole omnichannel and the AI thing is that's what we're doing.
Right.
One question I want to ask Nandini is what about the insights and analytics and reports? Fine, this experience, customer experience thing is fine. But as a brand, when I have to understand the whole reports and analytics, has Gen AI played a role in that?
Right, absolutely. I would say 100%. Why? Because now, initially, of course, we did have the AI, right, which used to help us generate reports. But now, with the help of Gen AI, how this has actually created a huge difference is that now, when all the data has gotten captured, responses have been gone on a timely fashion, right? Now, on a quarterly basis or on a yearly basis, you can understand the customer journey. The user journey is something that can be analyzed with the help of the reports. You're now a lot of platforms that have been in the market, right? They of course help in response management or so. But how Gen AI in our platform has helped us, how when all the data has gotten captured, you can have a user journey to be collated and understand that the same customer has come across various sources. And with the help of that, automatically responses based on the responses, reports have been curated, and this is how the manager's time or the reporting manager's time has been saved a lot.
Right.
And smart suggestions too.
Smart
I was coming
suggestions
to
as
that.
well.
Right.
Correct.
That's great, Nandini. Thank you for sharing those insights. It was great to have you here. I mean, you people work with so many customers where you actually implement AI and onboarding stuff, and also having those insights was really helpful. In this podcast, in CX with Connect, we try to cover most aspects of omnichannel customer experience. We also have this Connect Insights Academy where we are training users on how to go about the whole customer experience. This is a complicated subject. We are trying to make it simple. And in the upcoming podcast, we'll continue to do that. So I look forward to having you again. And until the next podcast, stay connected. Thank you so much.